Hello and welcome to the Watercolor Wonders video hop. If you are hopping along with us, you've just come from the amazing Terry Wilson, and your next stop is Karen Brown. As we are celebrating watercolor, I wanted to show off two watercolor techniques, and the first one is using the absolutely adorable baby shower stamp die and simple color masking set. So on a piece of watercolor paper, I'm using obsidian ink to stamp the main image. And I love obsidian ink because it's an oil-based ink, so it's going to stand up to the water and not smear. And it really has this very, very true black. And I stamped this twice, and you can see that fox that has his little black mittens, and so they came out very, very black with this. I'm going to start with the watercolor pencils. And these are absolutely fabulous to use for coloring sweet images like this. And I am starting off with Desert Night, and you can see that I'm tracing right around the edges of this bear's shirt. And I'm trying to get a nice dark line because this is going to be where the darkest part of the image is. And then I'm going to smooth that out and pull the color from the edges into the middle of the shirt just using my watercolor brush. I like this method for coloring on the go, and these brushes are so simple to use, and you can just put them in your bag, and they always have water with them, and you're just ready to go. And I'm going to move over to the mouse, and you can see that I start with a little bit of mountain mist, and then I add in just a touch of Desert Night for his jacket. And the fox, I'm using turquoise on his little tie. On the bear's body, I'm starting off with some paper bag, and then I'm adding in some maple yellow just to give him a little bit of different color on the top. And on the bottom, I added a little bit of oolong tea. So as I start to add the water to put these colors together, you can see how the colors start to blend to add some dimension and depth to the bear's image. So you can see how his face and his arms are a little brown but a little bit yellow, just to lighten them up. And as I move on to his belly, you can see that oolong tea mixing along with the paper bag to give it a little bit of darker hue. And I don't have to add in any more color. So all the color that I've added all along the edges of this bear is enough, and you can see that the dark spots are on the edge where I laid the color down, and then I'm drawing that color into the middle of the image. For the mouse, I'm actually using jet black since there is no gray in this set, but just because I'm adding water, that's going to lighten up that jet black. And for the fox, I'm adding orange cream and then also adding a little bit of maple yellow. So you can see that the fox is not one color, it's actually two. I didn't do the bunny because I'm not going to use him. So I'm creating the background here just by using the mixed sprinkles stencil and then adding some embossing ink and then using clear embossing powder. And the Fiesta watercolor markers, so you can see I added a copious amount of water, and then I'm just adding these color bands. And you can see how I'm trying to put some space in between the color bands, and that's allowing me to, when I start to add the water, it's creating that tertiary color between the two colors, so I get this beautiful gradient going from red down to blue. And this is going to be a nice fun background because this is going to be a birthday card. And the One Go Birthday Greetings has 12 different sentiments that are great for cards, and I am using rose gold embossing powder, and you can see I have a whole bunch of them. The die cuts them all out at one time, so you don't have to use all separate dies, it's just one die. And so here you can see I'm separating them out. And this is great because you can use them not just for birthday cards, but for other cards too. And I just store the extras in this little container and I have them ready to go. So these little critters are going to be stacked on top of each other. And I'm going to start by cutting out the mouse and then the fox. And you see I'm really careful about making sure that that bear is all in one piece because the bear is going to be the base of my pyramid of critters. The bunny I'm not going to use, so I'm going to go ahead and toss him over to the side. And here I'm just figuring out which of those sentiments from the One Go birthday I want to use. So I'm just going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using the adhesive, the dry adhesive, in order, because this is a little warped because I've heat embossed on it and I've used water. That dry adhesive is really going to make sure it stays stuck. And after I add in my critters, and you can see I just put them right on top of each other, and I have a little heart that I stamped, so the mouse can hold that little heart in his hand. And now I'm going to add my birthday sentiments from the One Go birthday greetings, and I'm using foam tape in order to push them up so there's a little bit more dimension in the card. And that's it. That is our card. Cute and adorable, nice and bold and bright. And I encourage you to grab your stamps and grab your watercolors and color in some critters. And thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the hop.